We thought we had covered the Book of Boba Fett in every possible way, the dismal Disney Plus performance that failed to perform for Star Wars and Lucasfilm. But folks, get out the forks because this one still has yet another prodding left to go. We're sad to tell you that apparently one of the reasons it failed so hard was it was based on Patton Oswalt. Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel. We are so happy to have you here with us as we continue in our journey of explaining entertainment and keeping you ahead of the culture curve. Folks, today we are keeping you ahead by telling you what caused the Book of Boba Fett to be so dead on arrival when it landed on Disney's grand shores. And for sure, it's because this sucker had all of its priorities completely out of alignment. How far so? Well, while they were preparing the rainbow-colored Vespas for the slowest chase scene in the history of cinema or streaming, they were apparently timing their intro episode to the rant of one Patton Oswalt. It's hard to believe, but folks, we've got the receipts. We'll tell you about it right now. This is out of Deadline. Patton Oswalt's Parks and Recreation rant was copied by Disney's Book of Boba Fett. And I don't think anyone is shocked in the least that something Patton Oswalt did was the inspiration for Boba Fett. I'll let you all figure out why. Patton Oswalt saw the future, or at least his Parks and Recreation character did. Speaking during a visit on Jimmy Kimmel Live this week, Oswalt recalled a 2013 episode where he played an angry Pawnee resident who engages in a filibuster. The rambling speech morphs into a pitch of his idea for a Marvel and Star Wars crossover film. So the scene was supposed to be, folks, that's what we call a pregnant pause, as I still am speechless. Still speechless that this is real. So the scene was supposed to be that I announce I'm going to do this filibuster, then they cut to Amy's character, Leslie, of course it was, just going, oh dear God, and that would be the joke. And then the directors and the writers said, let's not yell cut and just see how long he'll talk. Oswalt did his best to keep it going. Marvel had not done Guardians of the Galaxy. When I say Time Jim, they cut to Chris Pratt. This was way before he did Guardians. Also, Amy has the funniest line in the whole thing when she says the female part's a little underwritten, which was so exactly what those movies were, and goes on to talk about it, yada, yada, yada. When the Book of Boba Fett, and yes, that's a Seinfeldism. When the Book of Boba Fett came on Disney Plus, Favreau confirmed this for me. They cut the opening shot to match my filibuster. You can sync them up time-wise. It pans down from the twin suns, the hand comes out of the sand, and you can match it up to my filibuster. They did that on purpose. Gentlemen, here's what I'm going to ask you to weigh in on. Given that the Book of Boba Fett went to such great lengths to make sure that they synchronized it with a Patton Oswalt rant, and yet it failed to go to such extents to make it a watchable experience, you think maybe they had their priorities on the wrong side of things? Culture, help me make sense of this. Help me, please.
I can't. I just, first of all, he's not. I don't know if you know this, Pro, but he's not really popular.
Boba Fett?
No. This little Oswald guy.
Oh,
I've heard of this.
Yeah. And I mean, there are
he is not a lucky rabbit.
No, and I don't. I'm none of this makes sense to me, Pro. Jonas, help.
Patton Oswalt, just like Kevin Smith beforehand, he became the go-to brand for nerdy people in Hollywood. And so Hollywood said over and over and over again, well, this is our official voice to the nerds. So therefore, he gets a little overused, a little overexposed. And maybe as he gets a little overexposed, he takes some of that edge that makes him funny. And then he starts to talk about political things and gets a little insufferable. There was a time when I remember loving when Patton Oswalt showed up on screen. And that faded quickly when Hollywood decided that they should be vocal about all of their politics.
This goes back to this goes back to the movie star issue again, or TV star, giving us access to these people at the level that social media provides, and honestly, even interviews. I mean, there was a time, Lou, you can talk about this, I would hope. There was a time when movie stars, they might have done like an interview in 1 year, right? The biggest names, because there was that exclusivity that was necessary to create that feeling, that awe, right? And when they were on screen, you didn't necessarily know them. You just knew when they're in the movie, I'm going to see that film. And the Patton Oswalt thing, I think, is an example of why there's such grave damage when you give total access to audiences, to these people.
Well, first of all, that exclusivity was important, and they knew that the one person they did pick to interview them wasn't going to ask anything that was going to make them look bad.
Yeah.
But the bigger issue here to me, I have always said there are certain stars, certain actors who, for various reasons of their quirkiness or their uniqueness, some of them make it and some of them get boring and are rejected. And the difference is, and the classic example among all these people, and there are several, is Bill Shatner. They get the joke about themselves and go with it. He didn't at the very beginning, but once he figured it out, that's why Boston Legal is so great with him, because he gets the joke. Patton Oswalt has never gotten the joke about himself.
He's never will. It out. He cannot seem to understand.
He said, hey, this means I get work? Okay. What would you like me to be? I'm your dancing monkey. Tell me what to do.
Well, that's a great reference when we talk about dancing monkeys because of what the book of Boba Fett was.
Yes, well, that's
I've always
culture
because
was
we
this
weren't working together when Book of Boba Fett came out, but I was hearing a lot of rumors about what was going on that set for Book of Boba Fett, and to hear that Jon Favreau in the editing booth, it sounds like, timed out that opening to match the opening to match this thing. That doesn't say he was on set, and we are pretty certain that he directed the 2 episodes of The Mandalorian they put into the middle of Book of Boba Fett. But the rumor going around that he didn't have time to be on set for Book of Boba Fett.
We just about have it confirmed that he wasn't on set. We don't want to go back right now and explain how we know that. But.
So what you guys are saying is you've ruined the wonder. What wonder? Oh, I wonder, ooh-boop-a-doo, who wrote the book of Boba Fett?
I wonder. One thing that's not a wonder to me, though, is that clearly they were not focused on the right things. This is how you get the rainbow-colored Vespas. This is how, and honestly, guys, this is
slow-moving rainbow-colored Vespas.
Yeah, the worst chase scene in the history of anything.
Reverse twirling gunfire.
Yeah, this is
Boba
laughable.
Fett in a diaper, several scenes in. Sorry, I'm gonna.
No, it's true because listen, this is laughable now, but this really began the downfall of Star Wars on Disney Plus. Because remember, guys, Gina Carano was exited, and the goodwill of the audience was gone, and then this came out, and any chance of redeeming what had happened by saying, "Well, Lucasfilm is terrible." But somebody is still making good Star Wars. Like this utterly destroyed any anticipation for other Star Wars stuff. That was gone then. And to know that they were spending time on that kind of thing, it's like, did you all not realize the money that you were destroying by kneecapping this franchise? You didn't take it seriously enough.
And then by the end of it, there were a bunch of scenes of men in helmets in rooms that must have been the volume, implying that maybe things were reshot at the last minute.
Well, the only thing that worked were the Luke
more
episodes.
Expense.
The only thing that worked were the Luke episodes. That's it.
I just found out where this is all coming from.
Uh-oh.
This is that genius who runs Comcast Universal striking again, because guess where you can stream Parks and Recreation? Peacock!
Oh, that's right. That's right.
All 7 seasons. Because that's what this is. It's a promotion for that.
Indeed, yes. And Culture will give you the final word on the Book of Boba Fett and sort of where it is in terms of the downfall of Star Wars. Is it just a stepping stone to where we are, or was it actually something that was more cataclysmic?
I don't think you could have done more harm, with Boba Fett. I think it was just a step down into the depths of where it was headed already. I feel like Tamura told us, that they kind of messed him up, messed with the character, messed with what they were originally going to do.
When your star is saying, "I will not do this," he was like, "I'm not getting Mark Hamill here." I am not getting Jake Skywalker. Oh yeah, I did. I can't control this. It's out of my
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. But look, I mean, the what speaks volumes to any of this is whether or not you get a second season. You know, and you're not going to get another.
But
Boba Fett
they
film or-
got this time to a rant from Parks and Rec. That's really the win that you need in Hollywood, right?
Yeah, no, like I said, nothing helps. And I'm fine with that.
You know, Parks and Rec is a spinoff from The Office, and Culture. I'd have to say that I think the folks at Lucasfilm would be better off being run by Michael Scott than Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh
Fair?
wow! Let me go get my shirt for the paper company.
I'm going to say Threat Level Midnight is more entertaining than some episodes of the Book of Boba Fett.
And we have come to the end, folks. It is a wrap, but do not fret. Not yet, for more content is coming your way 3 times a day right here on the Pro Channel. And don't forget to check out our sister channel, That Park Place, as well as T3PO, that is, That Park Place Podcasts online. You can find it at That Pod Place. Folks, it's time to say sayonara for just a little while. On the way out the door, though, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and click it. Stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. And folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.